everybody, welcome back to our channel. My name is Wendy and today we're going to be baking bread. I'm going to show you how to make a no-knead crusty artisan bread that takes very few ingredients and hardly any time at all hands-on, and it tastes delicious. So what are we waiting for? Let's go. To make this type of bread, we have 3 cups of flour in our KitchenAid mixer with our dough hook attachment that is on. And to our 3 cups of flour, we are going to add 2 teaspoons of yeast. Now, I buy my yeast in big bulk like this, and then I just keep it in the fridge and use it as needed. So 2 teaspoons of yeast. And then 1 teaspoon of table salt. And then we're just going to turn this on low, and then we're just going to make sure that the yeast and the salt is all mixed in with our flour. To this, you want to add 1.5 cups of warm water. Usually around 110 degrees is where I keep the temp of the water. And then again, we're just going to put this on a slow stir and just incorporate all of this. This is going to be very tacky whenever it is finished mixing. You only want to mix this with your machine until it is just incorporated. Then just get in there with one of your hands and get the rest of it mixed in really well. You don't really want to knead this too much. It's not going to take, like when you make sandwich bread, you have to knead it for like 5 to 8 minutes to get the gluten incorporated. With this, you don't have to, but you do need to make sure everything is, like, all the little bits are in there. Okay. We have placed our dough in a clean bowl. We're going to cover this and let it sit for probably 2 hours until it has doubled in size. Now, I have a wood stove out in my living room, so I'm going to put this on the mantle where it's nice and warm, and hopefully that process won't take as long for this bread dough to rise. Our dough has more than doubled in size, so it is now time to preheat our oven and get the ball rolling. You will need a Dutch oven for this, or a pot that has a lid that is oven safe. So grab your pot, bottom and lid. Now mine, it looks terrible, but I bake bread in this all the time, so that is like burnt stain in my pot. So you're going to put this, the pot and the lid, both in the oven and heat them up in the 450 degrees. And we'll take it out right as we're ready to put our bread in. Flour your surface very lightly, it doesn't have to be a lot. And then we're going to take our dough and just plop it right on the board. Dust your dough a little bit with flour, and all we're going to do is pull in the sides like that. And then we're going to start tucking. Pull and tuck. You're looking for a ball shape that is somewhat smooth on the top. And it does not have to be perfect, guys. And that looks pretty good. Tear off a piece of parchment paper and lay that to the side. If you have a scraper, it's easier to use the scraper to lift your dough up off of the floured surface. And then you can just plop it right on your wax paper. We're going to let this sit, and I'm going to cover it up. I'm going to put a bowl over top of it and then cover it up. And we're going to let it rise again until our oven is preheated. So it's probably going to take about 20 minutes yet. Our Dutch oven here is extremely hot, so please make sure you're wearing gloves when handling it. To the bottom of the pot, we are going to be adding some cornmeal. And the purpose of this, not a whole lot, just a sprinkle on the bottom, is to keep the bottom of your bread from burning, because it's going to be lifted off of the bottom of the pan with the cornmeal placed on the bottom. So we do that. lift up the corners of your bread and then just gently drop it down into your pot. So it'll sit in there like that, mitts on. We're going to close it up and we're going to bake it just like this. What it's doing is it's steaming inside of here, and then that's what's going to give it its shape and all the little holes and stuff inside. Now, if you wanted to be like super duper fancy, you could take a knife or a pair of scissors and just make little cuts across the top to give room for expansion whenever it bakes. So we'll put the lid on and then we're going to pop it in the oven at 450 for 30 minutes. Our timer just went off for our 30 minutes. So we are going to very carefully. All we're going to do is remove our lid. And then we're going to push this back in the oven and cook it without the lid on for 15 more minutes. Oven door shut. Okay guys, I just took my bread out of the oven, which I can turn off. And you can see how delicious this looks, and it smells so good. We're going to pull this out and put it on a cooling rack, and then we're going to let it sit for at least 10 to 15 minutes before we slice into it. Just so you can hear this, it is very crusty. This is really hot. It just came out, but look, see the bottom isn't burnt. That's why we use the cornmeal underneath. Once sliced open, you can see how amazing this looks inside. It has all the nice little holes in it, and it just looks absolutely fabulous. So give this recipe a try. It is worth it, and it is a very easy recipe to get started with if you're just learning how to make a crusty bread. And great for parties, great for dinner, great with soup, anything. So give it a try. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And please make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Thanks for watching and have a great day.